Mm-hmm. Well, the home team will be looking for it to be a bounce-back night tonight here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, as well trying to make sure that a couple of trends don't become legitimate streaks. Good evening, Les Lazaruk with you from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field in Saskatoon. It is the Berries once again playing host to the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Game 2 of a 3-game series here between these two teams. The Berries coming off a 6-2 loss last night here at home to Medicine Hat. And it is the Mavericks who are looking to win a third straight game, and the Berries looking to avoid losing a third straight game. Zachary Landreville making his 4th start with the Berries. First pitch at 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening. High and away, ball 1 to Carter Roth, the second baseman. Landreville, right-hander, deals up high, 2-0. Landreville, 6'3", 230-pound right-hander of St. Jerome, Quebec. Comes from the Academy Baseball Canada in Quebec. 2-0 pitch to Roth is inside, 3-0. Zachary Landreville throws a 91 to 93 mile per hour fastball. It's in that range. Also throws a slider and a changeup. He finds himself behind 3-0 on the leadoff man Roth, who was 3 for 5 last night for Medicine Hat. And that's a called strike. With the fastball 3-1. Landreville making his 4th start of the season since joining the Berries, and his first against an East Division team. 3-1 pitch on the inside corner for strike 2. Couple of Medicine Hat players behind home plate just got evicted. 3-2 pitch upcoming from Landreville to Roth. He fights that off, fouls it up the first baseline, stays alive. Roth 3 for 5 last night, as mentioned. 11 for his last 28 in his last 6 games combined. A home run and 4 RBI in that time. Overall for the season, Roth is hitting .348, including 72 hits and 207 at-bats. The 72 hits tied for second most in the WCBL with Ethan Murdoch of the Saskatoon Berries. 3-2 pitch up high, and hitting the deck is Roth inside. And it'll be a leadoff walk to put the first man on base of the night. So now it'll be Evan Morrison, the right fielder, to face Landreville. Landreville in 3 previous starts, a 1-1 record. His first pitch to Evan Morrison is a called strike. A 7.30 earned run average for Landreville. 12 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's allowed 17 hits, 11 runs, 10 earned. Struck out 13 and walked 3. He's got Roth on first to deal with. And this is fouled back onto the screen. Quickly Landreville ahead of Evan Morrison, 2 strikes. Morrison 0 for 4 last night. Hitting .267 on the year. 6 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Left-handed hitter. That's up high and back to the screen. And taking second on the wild pitch is Carter Roth. So So a 1-2 count now on Evan Morrison, the Medicine Hat product, coming off his junior year at Hastings College. And now time called by the batter Morrison. Defensively for the Berries in the outfield, Giles Salinas is in right field. Nash Nichols in center, Ethan Murdoch in left. Around the infield, Mason Rell is the third baseman. Nathan Houston at short, Josh Henson at second base. The first baseman is Nick Cote. High and away, and count even now to Evan Morrison at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Hill, the third baseman, on deck for Medicine Hat. Catcher tonight is Aiden Marion. For the Berries, Zachary Landreville, coming off his best start in Energy City last week. This is on the ground, right side, knocked down by Cote, and they won't be able to make a play at first. They're going to call that an error on Nick Cote. Roth advances to third, and Medicine Hat threatening right away here in the top of the first inning. Nobody out. Runners on first and third. Nick Hill, the third baseman, who was 2 for 5 last night with a couple of runs batted in. Hill from Lakewood, California. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Coming off his senior year at Mid-America Christian University. Right-handed hitter Nick Hill, 6'3", 195. Barry's prepared to surrender a run. First baseman Cody is holding on the runner at first, Evan Morrison. The rest of the infielders are playing back in their regular spots. 1-1 the count now on Hill. Up high with a fastball, 2-1. Medicine Hat with the victory last night, combined with Weyburn losing, climbed into the 4th and final playoff spot in the WCBL's East Division. They come into tonight with a record of 20 wins and 28 losses. 2-1 pitch. It's fouled back to the screen. The slider from Landreville. 2-2 the count. Medicine Hat a half a game ahead of Weyburn for now for the 4th and final playoff spot. Only trail Regina by about a game and a half for 3rd place. There's a changeup and a swing and a miss and a strikeout. And a big strikeout there for Zachary Landreville. So now Frankie Giacalone, the first baseman, coming up. Giacalone 2 for 3 last night. Had a solo home run off of Dallin Rood in the 7th inning. Landreville with a check on the runner at first, Evan Morrison. Giacalone hitting .316, 50 hits and 158 at-bats, a team leading 11 home runs and 38 runs batted in. Big right-handed hitter with lots of pop in his bat. Takes a slider for a strike. Thing about Medicine Hat having won their last 2, 3-7 in their last 10, but their record is better on the road at 11-10 than it is at home, where it's 9-18. Mavs are a -24 runs for and against for the year. And again, off-speed pitch in there for a strike. 0-2. Landreville moves ahead of Giacalone. The 6-2 win for Medicine Hat last night over the Berries was the first win for the Mavericks over the Saskatoon Berries this season in 6 games. Berries, by virtue of the loss and a Moose Jaw win last night over Weyburn, dropped back into 2nd place in the East Division as Giacalone follows that off and stays alive at 0-2. Berries are 33-14, a game back of 34-13 Moose Jaw. Saskatoon have lost their last 2 games, whereas Medicine Hat have won their last 2. Hence the trend, you don't want it to go into a streak. Streaks really aren't legitimate until you won or lost 3 in a row, in my mind. Again, Giacalone fouls an off-speed pitch off, up and out of play. Count still holding at 2 strikes. Barrie 7-3 in their last 10. They're 17-7 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. And plus 151. 157, I should say. Runs for and against. 1 away, runners on first and third, 2 strikes on Frankie Giacalone. Landreville up high and inside. They'll appeal to first, but first base umpire Scott Mills says no swing. The home plate umpire tonight is Matt Schul. At first base is the crew chief Scott Mills, and down the third base line is Scott Mostoy, although he's parked right now between second and third just on the infield grass. 1-2 count to Giacalone. Fouled off at the plate. Staying alive is Frankie Giacalone, 6'4", 220-pound right-handed hitter from San Diego, coming off his junior year at Mid-America Christian University. So a teammate of the last hitter up for the Mavericks, Nick Hill. 1-2 the count. Slider low and away. Count now at 2-2. 7 pitches already in the at-bat, and the plate appearance for Giacalone. Johnny Vulcano, the shortstop, is on deck. Giacalone has hits in 6 of his last 7 games. 12 for 29 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Landreville, 2-2. Up high, full count. The pitch count early on for Zachary Landreville, moving on up. Of course, he's just a young guy. He was committed to Panola College. Freshman year. On the ground, up the middle. Taken by Houston. He'll bobble and won't pick up the ball. In to score is Carter Roth on what was potentially an inning-ending double play ball. Booted, unfortunately, for Nathan Houston. That's a second error already. Morrison makes his way to second base, and there's still 1 away. So it's a walk and a couple of errors that have produced the game's first run. And now Johnny Vulcano, the shortstop. First pitch up and in, ball 1. Vulcano hitting .316. Popped up foul out of play. 1-1 the count. Vulcano was 1 for 4 last night. That allowed him to extend his hitting streak to 6 games, during which he's 8 for 24 with a home run and no home run there. 8 for 24 though, so .333 in his last 6 games. 2 home runs, 25 RBI for the season for Vulcano as he pops this one sky high, twisting into foul territory. Nick Cote in foul territory will make the catch, and there's 2 away. They'll bring up the DH, Eric Calder. Oakville, Ontario product Calder was 1 for 4 last night. Upped his hitting streak to 4 games. 9 for 16 in those 4 games, so a touch over 500. In fact, I can tell you that's 563 when I do the math on the laptop on my laptop computer, the little calculator that I have available to me. outside. First pitch to Eric Calder, ball one. Anderville getting his sign from Aiden Marion, the catcher. Checks the runner at second. 1-0 pitch, hit on the ground up the middle. That will be fielded by Henson. A little toss to Houston with the glove. So a glove toss to Houston to get the force at second and finish off the inning. Nice play there by Josh Henson along with Nathan Houston to get the Berries out of the top of the first inning, but not before Medicine Hat scores a run. Without the benefit of a hit, there was 2 Saskatoon Berries errors and 2 runners left on base. After a half an inning, it's Medicine Hat 1 and the Saskatoon Berries no score. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
We get the sense tonight that the Medicine Hat Mavericks are going to be having a bullpen game. We'll see how long Levi Tibbetts goes. 6'6", 240-pound right-hander out of Lisbon Falls, Maine, coming off his redshirt sophomore year at Rollins College. This is his 12th appearance coming up tonight. He has a win, or has 2 wins, no losses, and a save, a 4.86 earned run average. He last pitched on the 13th of July at home against Swift Current. But every one of his previous appearances has been no longer than 2 2/3 innings and has thrown no more than 44 pitches. So Levi Tibbetts with a 4.86 earned run average, 2 wins, no losses, as I mentioned, a save to his credit, 16 2/3 innings in his 11 appearances. 14 hits allowed, 10 runs, 9 earned. He has struck out 25 and walked 9 in 16 2/3 innings. Levi Tibbetts gets the start here, or at least the opener, for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. And he'll face a Saskatoon order tonight that will start off with Mason Rell, the third baseman. Rell, Ethan Murdoch, and Giles Salinas back in the lineup for tonight after sitting out last night's game. Rell was 1 for 4 last night, extending his hitting streak to 6 games, during which he is 10 for 23 with a couple of home runs and 11 runs batted in. First pitch from Tibbetts is a called strike. Rell, since joining the Berries back in early July, playing in his 15th game tonight. 1 strike pitch is down low, 1-1. So he's 17 for 53 is Mason Rell, with translates to a .321 average, 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in. He has 5 doubles and a triple. Takes a strike from Tibbetts. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Berries were limited to 7 singles last night by 3 Medicine Hat pitchers. They'd like to be able to get something going offensively. There's a breaking ball low and away. 2-2. This one's hit slowly up the middle. Shortstop Volcano up with it. Double clutches, throws to first and throws it away. That's into the Barry's dugout, and that'll allow Mason Rell to advance to second base. So it'll be a two-base throwing error to the shortstop, Johnny Volcano. Neither team has a hit yet, but Medicine Hat has scored a run thanks to two Barry's errors, and now the Barry's get the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the first inning, courtesy of a miscue in the field from the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Brings up left fielder Ethan Murdoch, who was held hitless for one of the very few times this season for him. Swing and a miss, strike one at the first pitch from Tibbetts. Murdoch 0 for 4 last night. Swift Current product 2 for 14 in his last 4 games, hoping to find the hitting groove again. He has a duck on the pond, a runner at second in scoring position. Rell dancing around at second. Murdoch fouls that off up over top of the screen and towards Bob Van Imp Softball Park to the south of us. Quickly, Tibbetts is ahead of Murdoch, 2 strikes. Murdoch for the season hitting .379, 72 hits in 190 at-bats, 14 home runs, 55 runs batted in, among the league leaders in all those departments offensively. Here's the 2-strike pitch, and that's going to be a called strike 3 on the inside corner. So one away, Giles Salinas, who, like I said, sat out last night, has the best batting average on the team coming into tonight at .395. 70 hits in 177 at-bats, 2 home runs, 48 runs batted in. He has 14 doubles and a triple, but only 3 for 13 in his last 4 games for the product of Quintahara, Mexico. Or Rogers, Arkansas, whichever way you want to go. Right-handed hitter. Tibbetts' first pitch is a called strike. Again, in scoring position at second base is Mason Rell. The Berries last night were 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. That kind of hurt the situation for them last night, not being able to get runs home. Tibbetts with a long look at second. Rell taking off. Pitches down low, and they'll bounce the throw into third. Not in time. Rell steals third, as that's ball 1 to Giles Salinas. Mason Rell with his second stolen base since joining up with the team once again. So now 1-1 the count on Salinas, who played in all 8 games on the road trip. Was 11 for 30 in the road trip. He'll take a called strike there from home plate umpire Matt Schul, and it's 1-2. That 11 for 30 translates to .367, had 10 runs batted in. Did Salinas. Again, among the league leaders in hits, 4th with 70 hits on the season. 1-2 the count on Giles Salinas. Line drive will be caught at second base, and Rell will get back to third safely. So now 2 away, and it's Josh Henson coming to the plate. Henson 0 for 4 last night. Average dips back below 300. 296 for the year. 55 hits and 186 at-bats. 9 home runs, 48 runs batted in for Josh Henson. Sunny night again here in Saskatoon. Mainly sunny conditions, 25 degrees Celsius at game time, 77 Fahrenheit. East wind, 21 kilometers per hour, blowing in from the outfield. The first pitch to Henson is up high, ball one. 21 kilometers per hour is 13 miles per hour or so. So not an overly big breeze coming in from right field towards the third base foul line. Popped up. Foul territory. Coming over is the first baseman, and making the catch is Giacalone to retire the side. The Berries get a runner to third base with the leadoff man, but are unable to cash him in. No runs, no hits. One Medicine Hat error, one runner left on base. After an inning, it's Medicine Hat 1 and Saskatoon no score. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Zachary Landreville coming off unofficially 31 pitches to get out of the top of the first inning. Back out for the top of the second. He'll face the bottom third of the Medicine Hat order for the first time tonight. That's catcher Nate King. And then left fielder Blake Dale and center fielder Jalen King. Berries in their purple jerseys that they normally wear on the road on an almost exclusive basis. They wore white last night, so trying to change their luck here at home tonight. And if they don't like the purple tonight, then they can always go to the baby blue or powder blue for tomorrow's third game. I might do that regardless of what the result is tonight. Makes it easier on the equipment staff. Max Hildebrand and company. But here's Nate King, who was 0 for 4 last night. Right-handed hitting catcher for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. First pitch swinging on the ground towards short. Houston picks it up. Throw across in time. One pitch, one out. So now Blake Dale, the left fielder, who was 1 for 4 last night. Among the league leaders in doubles. With 16, he's third in that department. A .255 hitter is the right-handed hitter out of Riverton, Wyoming, coming off his senior year at Kansas Wesleyan University. First pitch popped up. First base side. Nick Cote is there to make the catch. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Zachary Landreville. And now Jalen King, who was 3 for 4 last night, singled in each of his first 3 plate appearances and made an out. First pitch fastball in for a strike. This will only be the 5th game that Jalen King is playing in on behalf of the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Slider down low, 1-1. Jalen King, just his 5th game from Spokane Valley, takes a strike, 1-2. Spokane Valley, Washington, another Mid-America Christian University product. 6-foot outfielder, plays center field and covers a lot of ground out there. He's coming off his senior year. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off, and staying alive is Jalen King. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So King coming into tonight in the 4 previous games that he's played in, 5 for 13, a .385 average with 1 run batted in. 1-2, hit sharply on the ground, past Nick Cody down the right field line. It's going to be picked up there by Giles Salinas, and the throw into second base, not in time, a double for Jalen King. The first clean hit of the ball game puts Medicine Hat on second base with 2 away. And back to the top of the order for Carter Roth, who walked and scored the only run of the game thus far, back last inning. Roth, a veteran of this team, from Stratford, Ontario, coming off his redshirt senior year at Duane University. 6 foot, 180-pound right-handed hitter. Landreville's first pitch is a slider in there for a strike. Roth last year, 50 regular season games with Medicine Hat, had 84 hits, including 10 doubles and 5 runs batted in, hit .380. Drove in 54 runs. On the inside corner, strike 2. Launderville way ahead now on Roth, hoping to finish off the inning. Launderville, 2-strike offering upcoming. Hit on the ground up the middle. Henson will backhand right at the bag, the throw to first, and Cote can't make the catch. And coming around to score and make it 2-0 is Jalen King from second base. That'll be an error on the second baseman as Roth. That's already the 3rd error for the Berries, as Roth is on first. Landreville's first pitch to Evan Morrison is a called strike. Swing and a miss by Morrison. 2 strikes now the count on Evan Morrison. Landreville again ahead in the count, trying to finish off the inning. That bounces in, blocked by Marion all the way back to the mound, and able to take second on the wild pitch is Carter Roth. So now he's in scoring position. 1-2 the count on Evan Morrison. A double and an error, producing the second run for Medicine Hat here in the top of the second inning. 1-2 the count on Evan Morrison. Chopped up the middle. Taken by Houston. He'll throw on the first, and it's in time. Morrison almost beat it out, but a good play by Nathan Houston to throw out the speedy Morrison and finish off the top of the 3rd inning. But a run for Medicine Hat once again on 1 hit. There was 1 Berries error and 1 runner left on base. After an inning and a half, Medicine Hat 2, Saskatoon no score. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Cody to bat here in the bottom of the second inning for the Saskatoon Berries, facing starter, opener, whatever you may, for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, Levi Tibbetts. He needed 14 pitches to get through the bottom of the first inning unofficially. Mentioned Tibbetts has thrown a lot in relief and has faced the Berries twice previously. Here in the 6-1 Saskatoon win back on June the 9th, he pitched an inning and a third. Didn't give up a hit, but gave up 2 runs, both earned, striking out 2 and walking 2. And then 2/3 of an inning back in Medicine Hat on the 23rd of June. Tibbetts in 2/3 of an inning gave up 3 hits, 3 runs all earned, struck out 1 and walked 1. Also hit a batter that game. First pitch to Nathan Houston is down low, ball 1. Neat little note from the season preview on the Medicine Hat Mavericks is that Levi Tibbetts at 6'6". He's also accomplished background in basketball. This one hit into the hole and under the glove of Volcano into left field. And that'll be a base hit for Nathan Houston, as he'll extend his hitting streak to 9 games. The Berries' first hit of the night. DH Aiden Kilshaw, the affiliate player from here in Saskatoon, a member of Canada's national junior team, spending the summer here with the Berries, getting some much-needed experience. DHing tonight after catching last night. Left-handed hitter takes a pitch down and away, ball 1. Kilshaw 2 for 4 last night. 5 for 14 in his last 4 games. Starting to find the hitting rhythm of the Western Canadian Baseball League. Got a good eye, too, as that one's outside to him, 2-0. Houston, with 15 stolen bases, is the runner at first for the Berries. Been caught once. Tibbetts with a long hold. Kilshaw up the middle. That goes off the leg of the pitcher Tibbetts. They'll toss over to first and get him. Now, he's called safe. Kilshaw dove into the bag, and then, now what's the call? I'm seeing out first, then I'm seeing safe, then I'm seeing off the baseline. Scott Mills, the first base umpire and crew chief, now discussing with Joe Carnahan, and I think they're going to say that the catch at first and the transfer is why the ball was bobbled. So Kilshaw is out, and Houston advances to second, and the fans here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field not very happy, and now we're going to have a little discussion here. No, we're not. We're just going to have the umpires reposition themselves with Houston, as that was a hot shot back off the leg of pitcher Tibbetts, recovering Giacalone to the up the first base line towards second base, and then able to toss to the pitcher covering for the out. Nick Cody, as Houston with a big lead. And had to scramble back to the bag as Tibbetts stepped off the rubber. Now he's ready to go against right-hand hitting first baseman Nick Cody. Down low to Cody, ball 1. Cody wouldn't play last night against Medicine Hat. 5 games he played in on the road out of the 8. 6 for 21, 286 average. 3 runs batted in for the product of Oakville, Ontario. Tibbetts with a long check. Cody with the swing and a foul back onto the screen. 1-1. Catcher Aiden Marion is on deck. Tibbetts again with a long hold, and now a pickoff attempt at second, but scrambling back to the bag is Nathan Houston. Once again, the Berries have a man in scoring position. See if they can get a base hit and a drive run batted in here. Get on the board. Cody fouls that off back to the screen. Behind now 1-2 in the count. Cody hitting .248 on the year coming into tonight. 25 hits and 101 at-bats. A home run and 16 runs batted in. He also has 6 doubles. Levi Tibbetts with a 1-2 count. Being distracted by Nathan Houston dancing around at second. Cody lifts this one into center field. That'll fall. Houston around third. He will score easily without drawing a throw. And there's an RBI single from Nick Cody. His 17th run batted in of the year, and the Berries are on the board. Trailing 2-1 now to the Medicine Hat Mavericks, and it'll bring up Aiden Marion, the catcher. Marion also did not play last night in the 6-2 Medicine Hat victory, as Aiden Kilshaw was the one who caught last night. Now it's the other Saskatoon product, Marion, who's catching tonight. First pitch, checked his swing, no appeal. Obviously he checked. Up high, ball 1. Marion on the road played in 4 of the 8 games. 4 for 14. Swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1-1. That translates to 286 in the road trip, 2 RBI. Also had a stolen base. Aiden Marion, for a catcher, has 7 steals this year, or this summer. 1-1 pitch, up high, 2-1. For the year, Aiden Marion's hitting .259, 21 hits and 81 at-bats. Couple of home runs and 14 runs batted in. Couple of doubles. The 14 RBI matches his uniform number. Runner at first, Nick Cote. 2-1 pitch is in there for a strike, 2-2. One away, Nash Nichols is on deck for the Berries. Again, Tibbetts' longest outing is 2 2/3 innings this year. Longest, most pitches, 44. Marion slaps a single into right field, a base hit. Cody had to make sure that ball got through before he made his way to second base, but that's where he is now. And 3 singles in the inning for the Berries. And they have runners on first and second now with 1 away. So now Nash Nichols to the plate. Nichols 0 for 4 last night. That ended a 6-game hitting streak. He's 8 for his last 27 in the last 7 games. Couple of home runs in that time. 4 runs batted in. First pitch down low, ball 1. Nichols from Waxahachie, Texas. Tibbetts with 2 men on and only 1 out. Checking the runners, Cote at second. Nichols fouls that back to the screen, 1-1. Top of the order, Mason Rell is on deck. Nichols has played 2 years of college at Brookhaven College in Dallas, Texas. First season here in Saskatoon with the Berries. 1-1 pitch bounced in, blocked by Nate King, and he's able to find it. The runners don't advance. 2 balls, 1 strike. Some stirring down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen area starting to happen. 2-1, Tibbetts with the count on Nash Nichols. Swing and a miss at a fastball that was up high in the zone. 2-2. Trying to catch a name here to go along with the number. Danny Retzlaff making his way down the left field line. He's not the only one. There's a second man with him. We'll check to see who that is. Nichols fouls that off. Stays alive at 2-2. Adam Wilmore is also down the left field line. So those two starting to, and it's going to be Wilmore who's going to start the throwing procedure. And the warming up being watched, spotted by Retzlaff. 2-2 the count on Nash Nichols. Line drive, left field, base hit. Cody is being waved around third base. Now the stop sign put up, the throw back to the infield, and everybody gets back to their base. And the bases are loaded as Nash Nichols has the 4th Berries hit of the inning. And back to the top of the order for Mason Rell, who reached in the 1st inning on an error by the shortstop, Johnny Volcano. As we'll get a visit to the mound from the pitching coach, Andrew Bench. Two-1 is the score. Berries with 4 hits all this inning against Levi Tibbetts. Medicine Hat have scored 2 runs with only 1 hit, but they've been aided by 3 errors in the infield by the Saskatoon Berries. So now Rell, who coming off his sophomore year at Indiana State, coming to the plate. Bases juiced with 1 away. First pitch from Tibbetts is a breaking ball outside, ball 1. Rell also stole a base last inning, but was left stranded at 3rd. Corner infielders are in, middle infielders back at double play depth. Rell on the ground, that'll get through into left field, a base hit. In to score is Cote. Rounding 3rd and coming home is Aiden Marion, and the Berries suddenly have the lead at 3-2. A 2-run single from Mason Rell. Nichols stops up at 2nd. That's 5 singles in the inning for the Saskatoon Berries, creating 3 runs. Runners at 1st and 2nd, still with 1 away. And up comes Ethan Murdoch, who would like to break out of this little mini slump that he finds himself in right now. Struck out his first time up against Tibbetts. Bounced into the dirt, pops up in the air, almost hits Murdoch, who's going out of the batter's box. The runners will move up 90 feet. Rell to 2nd, Nichols to 3rd on the wild pitch. And now Murdoch, who has 55 runs batted in, second most in the WCBL, has a couple on the pond here for him, the chance to increase the Berries' lead. Up high, 2-0 the count. Hitters count here for Ethan Murdoch. Tibbetts has to come in or else he falls behind 3-0. Giles Salinas on deck. 2-0 pitch. Fastball down and in. 3-0. Now does Murdoch get the green light on 3-0? I kind of doubt it, but you never know. 3-0 pitch. He swings away. Shortstop Volcano up with the ball. Will throw him out, but in to score is Nash Nichols to make it 4-2 now for the Berries. Rell holds his spot at second base. And it'll bring up Giles Salinas, who lined out to second base to Carter Roth back last inning. A 4-run second inning here for the Saskatoon Berries as they jump out in front. Mason Rell at second base, Levi Tibbetts with a long half inning for him on the mound. First pitch outside, ball one. Eighth batter of the inning for the Berries. Only Josh Henson, who's on deck, has yet to be at the plate. Rell taking a healthy lead off a second. And that hits him, which shouldn't surprise anybody because Giles Salinas has only been hit now 24 times by a pitch during this summer season. So first and second with two away, and it'll be the ninth hitter of the inning, Josh Henson, coming up. Oh, good. Second baseman Henson. Two men on, two away. Barry still batting here in the bottom of the second inning. Henson, line drive, right field, base hit. Round third, coming for home is Mason Rell. Chugging for third is Giles Salinas. And an RBI single for Josh Henson. RBI 49 on the year for him. Sixth hit of the inning for the Berries. Makes it 5-2. And that's going to be it for Levi Tibbetts, as Nathan Houston will come to the bat plate here for the second time in the second inning. Only this time he'll face a different pitcher. It'll be Adam Wilmore. Tibbetts was tall at 6'6". Wilmore is 6'7". Must like their pitchers tall with the Medicine Hat Mavericks. So a bit of a timeout here as the Berries bat around here and have scored 5 times on 6 singles and a hit by pitch. That person, Giles Salinas, is on third base. We have 2 away in the bottom of the second inning. And Adam Wilmore coming on. Let's tell you a little bit more about Adam Wilmore. This is only going to be his second appearance. He pitched on back on Saturday, I should say. At home against the Weyburn Beavers. 4 pitches, got an out, and that was it, a third of an inning. So no record for Adam Wilmore. A 0 earned run average. Again, 6'7" out of Centennial, Colorado, coming off his senior year at Duane University. a right-hander. And again, he'll face Nathan Houston with runners on first and third and 2 away. So for Levi Tibbetts, it'll be a brief inning and 2/3 that he pitches, giving up 6 hits, still responsible for the 2 runners on base. Struck out 1 and hit 1. He faces 13 batters. Let's see if we can quickly add up the pitch count for him. Unofficially 43 pitches for Levi Tibbetts. And now the new pitcher, Adam Wilmore, will come on and face Nathan Houston. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, strike 1. Wilmore checking on the runner over his shoulder at first. That's a breaking ball in for strike 2. Quickly ahead is Adam Wilmore on Nathan Houston. Again, a 2-strike pitch coming up to Houston, who singled to lead off the inning and scored. Another breaking ball, low and away this time, 1-2. Hasn't shown a fastball yet. At 6'7", you like to think that he could probably bring it pretty good. 1-2 pitch, fastball, outside, 2-2. Not part of the preseason preview from league's media coordinator. And that's a breaking ball outside, so it's a full count. The main man, Ian Wilson, from the WCBL. Media coordinator. I called him director of communications. He seemed to like that during the All-Star break. 3-2 pitch. Going with the pitch was Josh Henson, but fouled out of play by Nathan Houston. Count holds at 3-2. It's the Action Jackson pitch here. 3-2, 2 outs. Runner on first, Henson, with the first baseman Giacalone playing behind him. Takes off, and again fouled off by Houston out of play. A long bottom of the second inning. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat for Adam Wilmore against Nathan Houston, upcoming. And he gets hit by an inside pitch. That was a changeup that got away from him. Second hit batsman of the inning. Henson to second base. And Aiden Kilshaw, who hammered a one-hopper off the leg of the pitcher Tibbetts as the number 2 hitter this inning, was out on a close play at first base. Gets a second plate appearance here. Left-hand hitter looks at a pitch, breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 1. It has been a long bottom of the second inning. This is the 11th man to the plate for the Berries. They've scored 5. They've got the bases loaded still. Popped up in behind second base. Shortstop Volcano is there to make the catch, and that will end the inning for the Saskatoon Berries. But they score 5 runs on 6 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors, and 3 runners left on base. After 2, it is Saskatoon 5, Medicine Hat 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. We're an hour into the ball game tonight here on a Tuesday at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. A 5-run bottom of the second inning has the Saskatoon Berries out in front of the Medicine Hat Mavericks 5-2 as we head to the bottom or to the top of the third. It'll be the meat of the Mavericks order coming up. Numbers 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the lineup. Nick Hill, the third baseman. First baseman Frankie Giacoloni and shortstop Johnny Vulcano against Zachary Landreville, who through 2 innings has thrown unofficially 45 pitches. Has a strikeout and a walk so far. Nick Hill, the third baseman, will be the first man to face him. He struck out against Landreville back in the first inning. Again, Nick Hill from Lakewood, California. First pitch, slider in for a strike. Hill hitting .250 exactly, 15 for 60. 6 home runs, 16 runs batted in, has a double to his credit. Swing and a miss at another slider, 0-2 the count. Two-strike pitch, Landreville, and that's going to be called strike 3. Another breaking pitch, Hill muttering as he makes his way back to the third base Medicine Hat dugout. Not liking the fact that he got 3 breaking balls from Landreville. Hill, I would say, is probably a pretty darn good fastball hitter and didn't get one of those. So here's Giacoloni, who reached on an error the last time up, and that brought in the first of the Medicine Hat runs. Breaking ball in for a strike. Landreville seems to be finding his groove right about now. One strike pitch. Down low, 1-1. Pretty good fastball from Landreville. Giacoloni in 52 games at Mid-America Christian University this past year, in his junior year. .327 average. 14 home runs, 46 runs batted in. That's called strike on the inside corner. Giacoloni kicks at the dirt in the right-hand batter's box and steps out. Not certain he agrees with the strike call from home plate umpire Matt Schul. Behind 1-2 here in the top of the third inning. 1 away. Landreville's 1-2 pitch is fouled off and unable to be held by Aiden Marion. And that takes a bite out of him. And out comes athletic therapist Casey Marcinque along with head coach Joe Carnahan to check on Aiden Marion to see that he's okay. Knocked the mask off his head. Marion says, I think I'm okay. He's going to put the mask back on top of the helmet and have a little chat with Casey Marcinque. Take that ball off the mask and you can get some ringing in the head. But he's all right. Everybody heads back to their spots in the dugout. Marion squats down behind the plate. He says, let's go. 1-2 the count on Giacoloni. One-two pitch bounces away. 2-2. Johnny Vulcano, the shortstop, on deck. Again, a good-sized crowd on hand here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on a Tuesday evening. Another pleasant evening in Saskatoon. Low, 3-2 is the count. full count on Giacalone. Shadows pretty much engulfing the entire infield. Just the left-hand side has a little bit of sunshine on it. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. There's that changeup. 3 strikeouts now for Launderville. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the inning. There's 2 away. It'll bring up the shortstop, Johnny Volcano, who fouled out to the first baseman, Nick Cote, to end off the, or to be one of the outs in the top of the first inning. Johnny Volcano's came into the year having played in 142 games in the league and played in a bunch more this year. Up over 600 at-bats in his time. Takes a strike. Actually up over 700 at-bats now in the WCBL for Johnny Volcano. Swing and a miss on a slider, 0-2. Volcano with 2 home runs and 25 runs batted in, 11 doubles. 54 for 172 is his season log at the plate. Over 300. Breaking pitch down and away, 1-2 the count now. Eric Calder hoping to get an at-bat this inning. It would require Volcano to reach base somehow, some way. Launderville trying to finish off the inning, and he strikes him out. He strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, no Barry's errors, nobody left on base. After 2.5, it is Saskatoon 5, Medicine Hat 2. You're watching Barry's Baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the 3rd inning coming your way. Adam Wilmore, second pitcher of the night for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Got out of the 2nd inning, coming on in place of the starter, Levi Tibbetts. Again, I mentioned it's a pleasant night here in Saskatoon. Still considered to be mainly sunny out, although we won't have sun for much more than about an hour before darkness will settle in. But 24 degrees Celsius, 75 Fahrenheit. It's an east wind at 15 kilometers an hour, so it's getting lighter and lighter as the night goes on, 9-10 miles per hour. So not much of a factor. As the Berries with the bottom 3rd of their order coming up here against Adam Wilmore in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be Nick Cote, who had a RBI single last inning, scored a run. That ended in 0 for 7 for Cote, which will make him feel pretty good about that, maybe coming out of it a bit. Breaking pitch in for a strike. First offering from Adam Wilmore. "6'7" right-hander Wilmore. There's a breaking ball. It's called strike. That one was looped in a little bit. Not as tight of a spin. But he's up to 2 strikes. And now throws a breaking ball down and away, 1-2. The early returns on Adam Wilmore say that he's going to throw a lot of breaking balls. Doesn't throw a lot of fastballs based on what we've seen so far. Facing right-handed hitters, certainly that's the case. 1-2 pitch, fastball fouled back. No sooner do I say it, of course. It's the old broadcaster's curse that he's going to do the opposite of what I've been saying. Fouled off by Cody. He stays alive at 1-2. Aiden Marion, the catcher, Nash Nichols in center field are all up in this inning. Fouled off towards the Barries' first base dugout. Cody stays alive at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Third and final game of this 3-game series is tomorrow night, right back here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field at 7 o'clock. It'll be the 8th and final head-to-head meeting of the season between these two teams. Again, Cote late on that pitch. Fouls it off, stays alive. He's fouled off 3 straight since the count was 1-2. Making Wilmore work a little bit for it. One-two pitch. That one's inside, almost hit him. Count goes to 2-2. Two-two pitch. Hit in the air, straight away center field, going back and now stopping up short of the warning track and making the catch is Jalen King. 1 away. Aiden Marion now to the plate. He had one of the 6 singles for the Berries in the second inning and scored one of the 5 runs. 2 for his last 7, including that single last inning. Takes a pitch low and inside, possibly. Ball 1. From this angle, that looked pretty good. But again, the broadcast location, I can see perfectly down the right field line from home plate. That's where I'm in behind. Not in behind home plate itself. Popped up down the right field line. Coming over as Carter wrote the second baseman into foul territory to make the catch on that. And now 2 away. Here in the bottom of the third, it'll bring up Nash Nichols, who singled, scored last inning. Up for the second time. Nichols has 30 hits on the year in 130 at-bats. You don't see that number all that terribly often, that there's been 100 outs made to go along with the hits and at-bats. There's that breaking pitch, and Nash Nichols had to duck out of the way as that one was way inside, ball 1. Nichols hitting .231 at 30 for 130. 9 home runs and 30 runs batted in. Swing and a miss. Fastball could not quite catch up with. 1-1. That one is outside, 2-1. Catcher Nate King tried to bring it in over the plate, frame it for home plate umpire Matt Schul, who wasn't biting on that. Two-one pitch is a breaking pitch up high. Now 3-1. Mason Rell is on deck. And if Nichols gets on, Rell will get his 3rd plate appearance in as many innings. Wilmore's 3-1 pitch. Nichols on the ground. Volcano takes the second hop and throws on to first in time. And it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the 3rd inning for the Saskatoon Berries. No runs, no hits, no Medicine Hat errors, nobody left on base. We've played 3 complete It's Saskatoon 5, Medicine Hat 2. You're watching Barrie's baseball on FloCollege. Here's your unofficial line score through 3 innings so far tonight for the Saskatoon Berries. 5 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 3 errors. They've left 4 runners on base. Medicine Hat Mavericks have scored 2 runs on 1 hit. They have committed 1 error, and they've left 3 runners on base. As we head to the top of the 4th inning, Barry's starter Zachary Laundreville at 59 pitches unofficially will face the number 6 hitter, the DH Eric Calder, and then catcher Nate King and left fielder Blake Dale. Calder bounced into a fielder's choice to finish off the top of the 1st inning. Left-handed hitter. First pitch is inside, ball 1. Eric Calder coming into this at-bat, hitting .282, 37 hits and 131 at-bats. 4 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Change-up down low, 2-0. There's a strike with a fastball, 2-1. This one's lined back up the middle and a base hit. Second hit of the evening for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. They'll bring up Nate King. King grounded out to the shortstop Nathan Houston to lead off the top of the 2nd inning. Right-handed hitter. Veteran catcher. Blake Dale is on deck. There's a first pitch strike from Laundreville to Nate King. Nate King hit .287 last year. 2 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Hits this one on the ground. Rell gets a glove on it. Houston now with the long throw over to first, and not in time. King able to beat it out. Let's see what they decide on here. They're going to call that an error on Mason Rell at 3rd base. So Calder advances to 2nd. That's the 4th error of the game for the Berries. And so runners on 1st and 2nd with nobody out. And here's Blake Dale, the left fielder who popped up to the first baseman, Nick Cote, back in the 2nd inning. Dale's playing left field. He's been a shortstop for most of his time here in the WCBL. Laundreville's first pitch is fouled off. Strike 1 to Blake Dale. Dale's in his third season with the Mavericks. He's from Riverton, Wyoming. Coming off his senior year at Kansas Wesleyan University. Came into the year with 7 home runs in 78 career games, but he's matched that already this year in terms of home runs. 7 home runs this season. Now he's going to show bunt, and bunts it in front of home plate. And did that hit him? So it'll be a foul ball while he was still in the batter's box. If it hits him outside the batter's box, then he's out. But it hits him in the batter's box. And so now it's 2 strikes on Blake Dale. Interesting that the Mavericks were bunting there, although that might have been as much bunting to try and get a man on, more so than sacrificing. Runners at first and second, nobody out. 2 strikes the count on Blake Dale. Zachary Laundreville's pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's 5 strikeouts now for Laundreville. The last 4 outs he's recorded have been via the strikeout route. Up comes Jalen King, the center fielder, who's proving to be a bit of a nemesis, a bit of a pain here for the Berries these first 2 games. 3 for 4 yesterday. Doubled and scored his first time up tonight, back in the second inning. Slapped one past Nick Cote down the first base line and into right field. Check swing. They're going to appeal and call a strike. Jalen King takes a little bit of a walk. That pitch was up high, but he went too far with the swing, according to first base umpire Scott Mills. A 1 pitch upcoming from Laundreville to Jalen King, who fouls it back onto the screen and is behind 0-2. So there's Nate King and there's Jalen King, but I happen to think that there's not a relationship as far as familial. Nate King from Lindsay, Ontario. Jalen King from Spokane Valley, Washington. But you never know. But I kind of doubt it. 2 strikes. Down low, blocked by Marion. Runners hold, 1-2 the count on the Medicine Hat center fielder, with second baseman Carter Roth on deck. Dangerous situation here. The Mavericks with a very good leadoff man coming on deck. I'd like to get Jalen King out at this juncture. 1-2 pitch, fouled back to the screen. Stays alive at 1-2, does Jalen King. Eric Calder, the DH, is at second base. Nate King, the catcher, at first. Jalen King, the batter, with 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning. 5-2 Saskatoon with the lead, the middle game of a 3-game series. Laundreville deals up high and in, 2-2. Bullpens are quiet on both sides here in the top of the 4th inning. It's a different outing for Laundreville than what he last had. This one's on the ground. Houston flips to second for 1. Henson's throw to first gets away from Cote and gets up into the dugout, and that'll allow a run to score. Make it 5-3 as scoring on the play is Eric Calder on the error. And Jalen King will make his way around to second base. Throwing error on Josh Henson. That's another error on the Berries. That's 5 tonight. It'll bring up Carter Roth with 2 away and a runner on second. Roth 0 for 1. Hits this one in the air, left field. Murdoch with room going back short of the warning track makes the catch, and that's the end of the inning. But another unearned run scored by Medicine Hat in the top of the 4th inning, a run on a hit. There were 2 Berries errors and 1 runner left on base. After 3.5, Saskatoon 5, Medicine Hat 3. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Ready to go with
The live
of the 4th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Adam Wilmore back out. The line for Levi Tibbetts, the starter tonight for Medicine Hat, is done. An inning and 2/3. He allowed 6 hits, 5 runs all earned, struck out 1, hit a batter, threw 43 pitches unofficially, and faced 13 batters. Wilmore now will start off with the top of the Berries order. Mason Rell, who singled and drove in a run back in the 2nd inning. Reached on an error in the 1st. He's 1 for 2. First pitch down low from Wilmore, ball 1. All 3 Medicine Hat runs tonight are unearned. Breaking ball in for a strike to Mason Rell, 1-1. From West Bend, Wisconsin. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch. Rell behind 1-2 now. Left fielder Ethan Murdoch and right fielder Giles Salinas scheduled to hit here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Berries. One-two pitch and foul back to the screen. Rell stays alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rell's single in the 2nd inning extends his hitting streak to 7 games. Now 11 for 25 in that time, or .440 average. He continues to get more and more used to what he's been able to do in this league, as he was able to do last year as a member of the Berries. Fouls another pitch off. Count holds at 1-2. Last year, Rell in 41 games was 57 for 170 with 4 home runs and 39 runs batted in. He's got 18 RBI already. Puts this one on the ground just wide of third base, foul. That's 3 straight foul balls for Mason Rell in this at-bat. Wilmore getting set to deliver 1-2. That's down and away, ball 2. A big pitch count on this, as the next pitch here from Wilmore to Rell will be the 8th of the plate appearance. Line, but foul into the party patio, just over the party patio down the third base left field line. Rell is wasting pitches from Adam Wilmore. First look for Rell at Wilmore in this game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Wilmore. One away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 5 straight retired by Adam Wilmore after his initial man that he faced was Nathan Houston in the 2nd inning, and he hit him with a pitch. Since then, he's recorded 5 straight outs. Facing Ethan Murdoch now, who's 0 for 2. Drove in a run with a ground ball to shortstop last time up. Murdoch fouled that one off. He was way late on that. Again, head coach Joe Carnahan didn't move. That ball just zipped right on by him, and he didn't care. He knew he wasn't going to get hit. Curveball hit on the ground into the hole, fielded by the third baseman, Nick Hill, but he's not going to be able to throw out Murdoch, who gets himself on base with an infield single. 7th hit of the game for the Saskatoon Berries. One away, and it's Giles Salinas, who's 0 for 1, hit by a pitch, which shouldn't surprise anybody. Got to be among the league leaders in that department. 24 times he's been hit. But he's not the only one on the team who's been hit double-digit times. Brock Laird has been plunked 14 times, and Gavin Panks has received a free pass to first base via the hit batsman route 13 times. That's an inside pitch from Wilmore for ball 1. Murdoch on first. He has stolen 4 bases and has been caught twice. Breaking ball, and Nate King had to do some gymnastics in order to get outside and catch that. Otherwise, that's back to the screen. 2-0. And now they're going to call a balk. The balk was called by the first base umpire, Scott Mills. So moving over to second base on the balk is Ethan Murdoch. He is in scoring position. And now we're going to have head coach Ryan Reed come out and ask whether that was ball 3. But no, the balk was called before the pitch was delivered, so the count holds at 2-0. So now it's in scoring position, and he's balked again. Making extra movement while his foot's on the rubber. That's all it takes. If you're on the rubber and you make a move that's not intended to go towards either the base or towards home plate, you're going to get called. So back-to-back balks assessed to Adam Wilmore. And the Berries' 6th run of the game is 90 feet from home plate, and the infield is in. Salinas chops that foul up the third base side. 2-1 the count. Josh Henson is the on-deck hitter for the Berries. Shortstop Volcano is not quite even with the baseline between second and third. Now he creeps in closer. Salinas fouls the curve back to the screen. 2-2 the count. Salinas back into the right-hand batter's box. A 2-2 count with one away and a runner on third. Foul back onto the screen. Count holds at 2-2. Kyle Salinas with 48 runs batted in. Pops this one up into foul territory over towards the Berries dugout, and making the catch is Frankie Giacalone. And that's a big second out to record for Medicine Hat here in the bottom of the fourth inning. So now Josh Henson, who singled his last time up, back in the second inning, he's 1 for 2. He drove in a run back in the second inning. Pitched down low and away, ball 1. So Henson's up to 49 runs batted in. He came into the game tied for 5th with teammate Salinas in the RBI department in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Right-handed hitter from Huntsville, Alabama. Hits this one down the left field line and onto the screen that separates the fans down the left field line from the field. That's a foul ball strike, 1-1. Henson right on the 300 mark with his batting average up to date. 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. Fouled off on the breaking ball. Count even, 2-2. In fact, we've got the Deuces Wild on the scoreboard, the top line of the scoreboard at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ethan Murdoch at third. Infield single and a couple of balks gets him to third base. Henson would like to cash him in if he can. Adam Wilmore, 2-2 pitch. Swing and foul tipped, unable to be held by Nate King. And he smacks his hand into his glove. Upset with himself for not hanging on to that. That bat stays alive for Josh Henson. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck for the Berries. Wilmore's 2-2. Low and away, full count. (5-3) the score. Berries with 5 in the second inning. Fence post in innings 1, 2, and 4 for Medicine Hat. 3-2, swing on, missed, strike 3. Couple of strikeouts for Adam Wilmore here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Berries do not score a run. They had a hit. There were no Medicine Hat errors. 1 runner left on base. After 4, Saskatoon 5, Medicine Hat 3, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite...
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus the WCBL report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
As Evan Morrison, the right fielder, Nick Hill, the third baseman, and Frankie Giacalone, the first baseman, will come up to meet and hit against Launderville for the third time. Morrison 0 for 2, reached on an error and grounded out to short his previous two appearances. Left-handed hitter. Swing and a miss on the slider for the first pitch, strike one. Weakly hit on the ground. Josh Henson gets a nice hop, and he'll underhand to first in plenty of time for the first out. Bring up Nick Hill, the Medicine Hat third baseman, who has struck out twice tonight against Zachary Launderville. Launderville has 5 strikeouts on the night. Has walked just one. Another strong outing. Throws a fastball in there at the knees for a strike. In his last outing, Launderville at Energy City last Wednesday, pitched 6 innings, got credit for the win, gave up only 3 hits, 1 run earned, struck out 6, didn't walk anybody, swing and a miss. And Hill is behind 0-2. 67 pitches for Launderville in that 6-inning start, which was his longest outing of the 3 so far. Trying to get through 5 here. And maybe, if the Berries can continue to lead, as Hill fouls that off and stays alive at 0-2. But if he can get through 5 with the lead and the Berries can hang on without being tied or having Medicine Hat go ahead, then he could possibly record a second win. 2-strike pitch again coming up to Nick Hill. Fastball, line drive, right, caught by Josh Henson at second base. Well tagged by Hill, but right at Henson for the second out. And that'll bring up the cleanup man, Frankie Giacalone, who's 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up against Launderville. Here in the top of the 5th. This is home game number 25 for the Berries. We've only got 3 left after tonight in the regular season, and then the playoffs, which they're guaranteed to be a part of. Launderville kicks and delivers, and a fastball in for a strike. One strike pitch. Giacalone fouls that back onto the screen, a high fastball. 0-2, Launderville ahead in the count. Berries play host to Medicine Hat tomorrow night in their 3rd last home game of the regular season. Then they'll be at home to Regina on Monday as that pitch down low, 1-2. As we'll be into August. That's a Monday at 4 o'clock game. And then the final game of the regular season is here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field next Wednesday. Boy, that could be a big one in the battle for first place. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Change up, and Giacalone got all twisted up. 6 strikeouts for Launderville on the night. Another 1-2-3 inning for him, his second of the evening. No runs, no hits, no Barry's errors, no runners left on base. After 5.5, or after 4.5, I should say, we're halfway through tonight here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It is Saskatoon 5, Medicine Hat 3, as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It is 5-3, the Saskatoon Berries leading the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Out of town tonight in the top of the 7th inning, Regina with a 6-2 lead over Energy City. In the second game of a doubleheader earlier today, the Red Sox nipped the Cactus Rats 2-1. Another afternoon final, Sylvan Lake at home bounced Lethbridge 15-4. Tonight, Sylvan Lake is at home again, playing Brooks this time, leading 16-2 in the top of the 5th inning. And Moose Jaw leads in Swift Current 5-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Houston shows bunt and bunts through it, strike 1, trying to bunt his way on to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Nathan Houston 1 for 1, singled and scored in the 2nd inning, hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Third plate appearance of the night as that's outside ball 1-1. Again, Moose Jaw coming into the game. Time is called as ball gets away down the right field line in the Berries bullpen. It looks like Aiden Quintella who's warming up. Be our first chance to see him in action here in Saskatoon. Swing and a miss by Houston on a breaking pitch. 1-2 the count. Quintella, a newcomer to the Berries, was activated on the 14th of July. Breaking ball down and away. 2-2 now the count on Nathan Houston. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 strikeouts now for Adam Wilmore, who looks like he's going to be the guy. He's going to get the bulk innings here tonight after taking over from Levi Tibbetts in the 2nd inning when the Berries scored 5 times. Now it's Aiden Kilshaw, who's 0 for 2, the DH. Grounded out in the 2nd inning and popped out to end the 2nd inning. He got up twice in the 2nd inning. 5 runs for the Berries in that frame, 11 men to the plate. On the ground, over the bag. No, they're going to call that foul. First base umpire Scott Mills calls that foul. Boy, that was close. That looked like it might have jumped over the bag, right on the edge, right along the line. But first base umpire Scott Mills is actually about, 90, 120 feet closer than I am. Probably had a better view of it than I did. Called it a strike, foul. Wilmore, one strike pitch. Killshaw pops this one. This one's looping, coming down, making the catch in center field. Jalen King coming on and sliding on his butt and able to make the catch. 2 away. So now it'll be Nick Cote, the first baseman for the Berries. He was the first man to face Wilmore in the 3rd inning. Flew out to center field. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Also drove in a run. Adam Wilmore doing the job here right now for Medicine Hat since taking over from Levi Tibbetts. Cote fouls the first pitch off onto the screen. Strike 1. Has given up just the 1 hit to Ethan Murdoch, an infield single. Breaking pitch on the outside corner, strike 2. But 3 innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed. He's got 3 strikeouts. An effective job so far from out of the Medicine Hat bullpen. Cote hits this one, twisting into foul territory down the right field line, and will land short of the Berries bullpen foul. Count holds at 0-2. Regina winning once already today, now up to 20-25, trying to secure 3rd place. 2nd place team in the East Division would face them if that was to be the case, and right now that would be the Berries. So it would be a rematch of last year's East Division final. Berries and the Red Sox, the big city Saskatchewan rivalry. Cote with a solid line shot single into right field. Looks over at the dugout and says, "See, guys, that's how you do it against this guy. You can get on the bats and get things going here." It's the 8th hit of the game for the Berries. And brings up Aiden Marion, the catcher, who's 1 for 2. Fouled out. Caught by the 2nd baseman Carter Roth back in the 3rd inning. Marion singled and scored back in the 2nd. Fouls the first pitch off, strike 1. A 2-out single for Nick Cote. 2 for 3 on the night for him, coming off his freshman year at Niagara University. Short lead at first. Marion swings and misses at the breaking pitch. He's behind 0-2. Two strikes on Marion. Wilmore looking to get out of the inning. Get his team back to the plate. Bounces that breaking ball in. 1-2 the count.1-2 pitch. Chopped on the ground. Volcano charging. Up with it. Throws on to first in time. And that will retire the side. No runs for the Berries in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 hit, no Medicine Hat errors, 1 runner left on base. After 5, it is Saskatoon 5 and Medicine Hat 3 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. New pitcher coming on for the Saskatoon Berries here in the top of the 6th inning. It'll be Aiden Quintella, newcomer to the team, joined the team on the 14th of July. Right-hander from Carlsbad, New Mexico, coming off his freshman year at Garden City Community College in Kansas. Quintella will be making his 4th appearance. He has 3 one-inning appearances so far this year, including an appearance against the Medicine Hat Mavericks in Medicine Hat back on Friday the 17th of July. But in his 3 one-inning appearances, Quintella has 1 save to his credit, a 3.00 earned run average. He's allowed 1 hit, 1 run earned, struck out 2 and walked 2. He'll come on in place of Zachary Landreville, who pitched 5 innings tonight, gave up only 2 hits, 3 runs, all unearned, struck out 6, and walked 1. So first pitch, Quintella fouled off by Johnny Volcano, the shortstop, who's 0 for 2 coming into the game. Fouled out to first and struck out in the 3rd inning. Volcano on a 6-game hitting streak coming into tonight. Quintella, shorter in stature. Reminds me a little bit of Tanner Hosick. That was a breaking ball down and away, ball 1. 1-1. Line drive, that's a base hit, and the hitting streak is up to 7 games for Johnny Volcano. A leadoff single here in the top of the 6th inning. 3rd hit of the game only for Medicine Hat. But now it'll be DH Eric Calder, who has one of the 3 hits tonight, singled and scored back in the 4th inning. Landreville faced 22 batters and unofficially threw 84 pitches. Is in line for the victory, but needs the bullpen to come through. There's a breaking pitch and a big swing and a miss by Eric Calder, strike 1. I don't think I've been supplied with anything on Aiden Quintella. No, I haven't been. He joined the team after the team took off for the road. There's a line shot into right field. That's a base hit. Volcano will hold up at second as Salinas with the ball in right field quickly gets it back into the infield. Back-to-back singles here for Medicine Hat to lead off the top of the 6th inning. So now catcher Nate King will be the batter. He's 0 for 2. Reached on an error his last time up. Grounded out to short back in the 2nd inning. Shows bunt, gets it down. Quintella with it. Get it on to first base to Nick Cote. Volcano over to 3rd. Calder over to 2nd base. And that's the first out of the inning. But 2 ducks on the pond now for the Mavericks. Tying run is at 2nd base. And Blake Dale, the left fielder, up. He's 0 for 2. Dale has 39 runs batted in on the year, which is 10th most in the WCBL coming into tonight's action. First base open. First baseman Cote in at the edge of the grass. Breaking pitch down low and away. Ball 1 to left fielder Blake Dale. Batting average just a little bit above 250 for the season. Fastball, high, 2-0. The umpires in the crowd not happy with the call from home plate umpire Matt Schul. Dale with an advantage here, a 2-0 count to him. Quintella, breaking ball in for a strike, 2-1. Jalen King, the number 9 hitter in the Medicine Hat order, is on deck. One away here in the top of the 6th inning, as we're just past the 2-hour mark in this ball game. Again, a breaking ball in for a strike. 2-2 on Blake Dale. 1,989 is the attendance here tonight at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Darkness starting to fall over the ballpark. 2-2 outside, full count. Airport says it's still mainly sunny. I would say clear. 22 degrees Celsius, 72 Fahrenheit, east wind 16 kilometers per hour. Fouled off at the plate by Dale. He'll hold up there, stay alive at 3-2. Quintella does have a place to put Dale at first base if he can't get him, but it would then be bases loaded for Jalen King, who's been a problem to get out for the Berries last night and so far tonight. Payoff pitch again, that's outside, and a walk loads the bases up. And here comes Dustin Mulliken, the Berries pitching consultant, out to confer with Aiden Quintella. While down the right field line, that looks like Clay Mixon. No, it's not. It's Colin Plain, 49, that's warming up down the right field line for the Berries. So we got ourselves a bit of a dicey situation here for the Saskatoon Berries right now. Bases loaded, one away. Top of the 6th inning, and a 2-run Saskatoon lead. Corner infielders Rell and King will play in. Middle infielders Houston at short and Henson at second will play at double play depth. Jalen King is 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. Reached on an error after a fielder's choice. Back in the 4th, and that pitch gets away from Perry and the catcher all the way to the backstop, and in to score is Johnny Volcano on the wild pitch, and that makes it 5-4. Ball 1, the count to Jalen King. Eric Calder now on third base, Blake Dale up to second. Top of the order, Carter Roth is on deck for Medicine Hat. That's low. 2-0 now the count on Jalen King. Aiden Quintella has himself in a bit of a bind here in his first appearance playing in Saskatoon for the Berries. 3 appearances on the road during the recent road trip. Breaking ball. Ball 3. Again, there's a place to put him. First base is open. But the tying run right now is 90 feet away from home plate. As Medicine Hat threatening again to score multiple runs. Fastball taken for a strike, 3-1. Quintella comes set. 3-1, called strike. Jalen King thought he'd earned himself a walk and was starting to throw the bat away and realized, oh, now it's a full count. Let's see what we get here on the Action Jackson pitch. 3-2 with one away. And he's going to call time as Jalen King, the batter. As Quintella and Aiden Marion, the catcher, trying to come together on what they're going to throw here. Now we're set and ready to go. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off over top of the first base bleachers. Hanging in there is Jalen King. Second time around here comes the 3-2 pitch. Hit in the air to right field. Salinas coming on, makes the catch, and deals it back to the infield, and holding at third base is Eric Calder. Not a speedy runner at third, so a huge out there for the Berries. Second out of the inning, and it'll now bring up Carter Roth. A chance here again from Roth, but he needs a safe hit in order to bring in the run. Can Quintella wriggle out of this? Clay Mixon continues to warm up down the right field line for the Berries. Runners at second and third. First pitch to Roth is a called strike. Roth 0 for 2. Walked and scored in the first inning. Reached on an error in the second. Flew out to left in the fourth. Dangerous hitter. Veteran player. That one bounces away from Marion to the backstop and gets caught up on the screen and will stay there. And Eric Calder comes in to score the tying run. Blake Dale over the third. We're now tied up at 5-5. 2 runs, 2 hits, a couple of wild pitches scoring. 1-1 the count to Carter Roth. The All-Star Game MVP here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field a couple of Sundays ago. He'll foul that off. 1-2 the count. Right fielder Evan Morrison hopes to get up to bat here in the top of the 6th inning for Medicine Hat. He's on deck. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Cote coming over, and that one's going to be out of play. Onto the screen. Count holds at 1-2. Ball game tied up at 5-5 now here in the top of the 6th inning. It's a long game, lots of pitches, lots of long counts. 1-2, Roth hits it in the air, center field. Nash Nichols back a few steps, now stops and has it, and that's the end of the inning. But we have a tie ball game at 5-5 as Medicine Hat scores 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning on 2 hits. There were no Berries errors and 1 runner left on base. So after 5.5, Saskatoon 5, Medicine Hat 5 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage, Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca.
Well, looks like we've got a pitching change happening here for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. We just need to see a number. I believe it is number 25, and it is. Davin Hinote, or Hinote, as was just said by Simon Hyatt, our public address announcer. Hinote, whatever the case may be. Hopefully somebody can give me a proper pronunciation, but he is into the ball game now for the Medicine Hat Mavericks to pitch, third pitcher of the night. Davin Hinote will be making his 13th appearance of the season. He has no record, an 8.40 earned run average. 15 innings pitched. He's allowed 22 hits, 17 runs, 14 of them earned, has struck out 21 and walked 15 in 15 innings. Right-handed pitcher, and his first pitch fastball is up high to Nash Nichols, ball one. Nichols singled and scored in the second inning and grounded out to short in the third. Nichols pounds this one into the dirt, foul at third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hinote, 6'4", 180 pounds, right-hander out of Maisie, Kansas, coming off his sophomore year at Kansas Wesleyan University. Facing Nash Nichols. Nichols started down the line to Ford's first on that foul ball that kicked foul. It was fair for about 2/3 of the way down the line and then kicked foul. Breaking pitch stays high and inside, 2-1 the count on Nichols. Back to the top of the order after him to Mason Rell here in the bottom of the sixth. Nichols lashes a ball into left field, a base hit. Blake Dale up with the ball, big turn around first base by Nash Nichols, but he is on with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the sixth inning, the 9th hit of the game for the Saskatoon Berries. And now it'll be Mason Rell, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Extended his hitting streak to 7 games back in the second inning. Struck out his last time up, though, in the 4th. Fans trying to get into it. 1,989 on hand here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The game tied up at 5-5. Breaking pitch up high, ball 1. Was quite the appearance for Adam Wilmore. A very good 3 1/3 innings on behalf of the Medicine Hat Mavericks. That's down low, I believe. 2-0. Matt Schul with a very tight strike zone. Wilmore only allowed 2 hits, didn't give up a run in his 3 1/3 innings. Struck out 3. Didn't walk a batter, but had a hit batsman. Going is Nichols on the steal, and he'll be in there safely. A called strike on Mason Rell, and the ball count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Nichols at second. 2-1 delivery. Looped in the air to left field, trying to get over there is Volcano. He can't make the catch. Nichols will make his way over to third. Had to hold up and wait to make sure the ball fell in fairly. And it does, and the Berries have the first 2 men on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Up to double digits in hits with 10. And now it's Ethan Murdoch, who's 1 for 3, singled his last time up, an infield single. A chance to drive in a run and get the Berries back out in front. Davin Hinault. And taking off is Rell, and a fake throw down to second by King, making sure Nichols didn't try and make his way home to third. So second and third now for the Berries. Strike one the count on Ethan Murdoch. Hinault, low and away, ball one, 1-1. Two ducks on the pond for the Berries. A chance to retake the lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Check swing right back to the pitcher, Hinault. He'll underhand it to first and get the out, and the runners hold their spots. One away. That was an excuse me check swing bouncer, right, one hopper right back to the pitcher. And now Giles Salinas is 0 for 2 tonight, been hit by a pitch. And the fans get into it, of course, with the mariachi music, hoping to spur him on to a base hit, something positive. One away, still runners on second and third. Fastball up high or outside, one or the other, but a ball to Giles Salinas. Josh Henson is on deck. Hinault is capable of striking people out. He has 21 Ks. He also has 15 walks as he puts that pitch up high, 2-0. There's action down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen again. Two-0 pitch to Salinas. Popped up in the infield. Pitcher Hinault is calling for it, and he'll make the catch, and there's two away. J.J. Harnett, Medicine Hat product, is up and warming down the left field line for Medicine Hat, but two big outs here for Hinault in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it brings up Josh Henson, who's 1 for 3. Singled and drove in a run back in the 2nd inning. Struck out his last time up, though, against Adam Wilmore, who again had a brilliant 3 1/3 innings, allowing just 2 hits, no runs. Struck out 3, hit a batter, faced 13 batters, and unofficially threw 64 pitches. Henson on the ground, picked up and to get into the outfield. One runs in, and getting to score as well is Mason Rell. A ball up the middle, Volcano reaching for it. Got a glove on it but couldn't field it, and it's going to be a 2 RBI single for Josh Henson, and the Berries take the lead back and go up by 2 at 7-5. So now Nathan Houston, the batter, 1 for 2. First pitch swinging, fly ball into right field. Loping over towards the foul line and making the catch is the right fielder Evan Morrison. And that ends the inning. But the 2-run single for Josh Henson gives the Berries the lead back in the bottom of the 6th inning. They score 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors and 1 runner left on base. We've played 6 complete, and it's the Saskatoon Berries 7 and the Medicine Hat Mavericks 5 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. New pitcher into the ball game for the Saskatoon Berries here in the top of the 7th inning. But before we get to that, your unofficial line score through 6 for the Berries: 7 runs on 11 hits. They've committed 5 errors. They've left 7 runners on base. Medicine Hat, 5 runs on 4 hits. They've committed 1 error. They've left 5 runners on base. As we head to the top of the 7th inning, and Colin Plain is into the ball game, Saskatoon product. Colin Plain is a big kid from Saskatoon, as mentioned. 6'3", 230 pounds, coming off his junior year at Arizona Christian University. He'll face Evan Morrison, the number 2 hitter in the lineup for Medicine Hat, to lead off the top of the 7th. Plain's first pitch up high, ball 1. Morrison 0 for 3. 3 ground balls. Got on base with 1 of them. Hits this one in the air down the left field line. It is well tagged down the left field line and hits the base of the fence. Picked up out there by Ethan Murdoch, and Morrison pulls into second base with a leadoff double here in the 7th inning. So third baseman Nick Hill coming up. First time he's not facing Zachary Landreville, the Berries starter, who struck him out twice and got him to line out his 3rd time up. Plain's first pitch stays up high, ball 1. Plain has been a workhorse out of the bullpen for the Berries. This is his 19th appearance this season. 1-0 pitch is inside and off the glove of Aiden Marion to the backstop, and Evan Morrison over to third base on the pass ball. Plain has a record of 2 wins and 1 loss, a couple of saves, and 20 in the 3rd innings. Has allowed 18 hits coming into tonight, 11 runs, 7 earned, struck out 19 and walked 4, an ERA of 3.10. He's behind 2-0 on the batter Nick Hill, with Evan Morrison leadoff man on third. Two-0 pitch fouled off by Hill. Breaking ball, 2-1. Plain into the game, throws a fastball upwards of 87 miles per hour, 85 to 87. Change up and a curveball. Right-hander from Saskatoon, a graduate of Walter Murray Collegiate. 2-1 pitch is up high, 3-1. So 3-1 now. Hitters count here for Nick Hill. Nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. Fastball fouled back to the screen, and we're full at 3-2. Things are quiet down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen. Somebody is going to start to throw down the right field line for the Berries. Plains 3-2 pitch to Hill, fouled off. He got that off of his front leg and feels that a little. Full count pitch for a second time coming up to Nick Hill. Popped up in the infield. Called for by third baseman Mason Rell. He'll make the catch. And there's one away. They'll bring up the first baseman, Frankie Giacalone. Giacalone looking for some advice from Nick Hill as to what Colin Plain throws, what his pitches do, etc., etc. Giacalone is 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts for the big, tall first baseman from out of San Diego. And Mid-American Christian University takes a called strike. Johnny Volcano, the shortstop, is on deck for the Medicine Hat Mavericks here in the top of the 7th inning. Down the right field line, Brooks Jones begins warming up for the Berries. That one gets away to the screen. Marion flips to Plain trying to cover, but in to score is Evan Morrison. So the wild pitch makes it 7-6. A 1-1 count now on Giacalone. Bases are empty. And a 1-run lead for the Berries. Game 2 of a 3-game series. Medicine Hat won 6-2 last night. Plains 1-1 pitches down low, 2-1. Plain sets and delivers 2-1. Is at the knees, 2-2. Two and a half hours into the ball game, we're in darkness here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Pleasant evening. 2-2 pitch, fouled off. Giacalone holds in there at 2-2. Plain gets his sign from Aiden Marion, the catcher. 2-2. Fastball outside, and it's a full count. Ran in, 1 out, a 1-run ball game. Berries are 5-3 in one-run decisions this season. 3-2 pitch hit on the ground. Rell at third, up with it. Cross diamond throw in time to Nick Cote at first base. 2 away here in the top of the 7th inning. It'll bring up the shortstop Johnny Volcano, who singled and scored last inning. He's 1 for 3 as he extends his hitting streak to 7 games. Hitting .333 during that time, 9 for 27. Veteran Volcano. From Cloverdale, BC, coming off his senior year at Duane University. Younger brother Adam on the team, but has not made an appearance in either of these first 2 games so far. First pitch to Johnny Volcano is a ball. Down low, according to home plate umpire Matt Schul. That one's at the knees, strike 1. DH Eric Calder on deck for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, hoping to get an at-bat here in the top of the 7th inning. If he does, it's because Volcano has found his way on base some way, somehow. The 1-1. Breaking ball at the top of the zone, 1-2. 6 strikeouts for Zachary Laundreville. 1 more by a Berries pitcher tonight, and everybody in the crowd gets the opportunity for a side order of pancakes at a local restaurant establishment. 1-2 pitch fouled off up the first base line. That was the curveball from Plain. Fouled off 1-2 the count. It holds. Plain sets and ready with the 1-2 now, with 2 away here in the top of the 7th inning. Fouled off again by Volcano. That's up and out of play towards the Bob Van Imp softball diamond to our south, part of the Gordie House Sports Complex here. 2 ball diamonds to the north of us is Licos Field, used for local senior and under 18 games. 1-2 pitch, popped up in the air, twisting foul down the right field side. Cote went for it and then called off by Henson, who failed to make the catch. Henson trying desperately to get over there, calling off Cote, who let it go at the last second, and then Henson couldn't come up with it. So the 1-2 count holds. 3 straight foul balls by Johnny Volcano. Colin Plain trying to get the 3rd out here for the Berries against Medicine Hat in the top of the 7th inning. Line drive right field, that'll fall in, base hit. The inning continues. Hit number 6 of the night for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. It'll bring Eric Calder, the DH, to the plate. And here comes Joe Carnahan, the head coach of the Berries, and I think we're going to get a pitching change, and we are indeed. Brooks Jones is going to come into the ball game. 2/3 of an inning for Colin Plain. And a left-hander, Brooks Jones, to face the left-handed hitting Eric Calder. Now, does Calder get called back? And does Medicine Hat bring in a right-handed bat? The announcement is made that Brooks Jones is coming into the ball game now for the Saskatoon Berries. So what does Ryan Reed of the Medicine Hat Mavericks do? Does he make a counter move? Doesn't look like it. Calder is in the on-deck circle, watching Jones's warm-ups. Brooks Jones into the game. Lefty, 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Lawrence, Kansas. coming off his sophomore year at Hutchinson Community College, but will be playing his junior year next winter at the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley. Brooks Jones has been busy out of the bullpen as well for the Berries. This will be his 16th appearance on the season. 2 wins and a save, 21 2/3 innings, a 2.08 earned run average, 12 hits allowed, 7 runs, 5 earned, struck out 28, and walked 13. Brooks Jones into the ball game. 2 out and a runner on first here in the top of the 7th inning. Aiden Cantella in his 6th inning of work gave up 2 hits and 2 runs, both earned. Didn't strike out anybody and walked 1. He faced 6 batters and unofficially threw 25 pitches. Colin Plain, 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits, has allowed 1 run, still responsible for the runner on base. No strikeouts, no walks. Jones's first pitch down low to Eric Calder, ball 1. Plain faced 4 batters. We'll get the unofficial pitch count for you momentarily as Brooks Jones with a 1-0 count on DH Eric Calder. Outside 2-0. Jones throws a slider, a changeup, and a fastball that will touch 93 miles per hour. Calder tonight, 2 for 3, couple of singles and a couple of runs scored, both his last 2 times up in the 4th and 6th innings. Calder from Oakville, Ontario. There's the changeup, in for a strike, 2-1. Unofficially, Colin Plain threw 23 pitches. Brooks Jones with a 2-1 count now on Eric Calder. Swing and a miss on the slider, 2-2. There's those deuces wild on the top line of the scoreboard here in right center field in Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. Jones kicks and delivers 2-2, low and away, ball 3. Volcano ventured well off with his secondary lead off of first base and scrambled back to the bag. Didn't draw a throw though. He'll be taken off for sure though with this pitch, which is 3-2 with 2 away. Brooks Jones to Eric Calder. Key moment in the ball game here, top of the 7th inning, a 1-run lead for the Berries. Volcano goes, pitch down low, ball 4. So now runners on first and second. And up comes the Medicine Hat catcher, Nate King, to face Brooks Jones. Nate King is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt back his last time up last inning. Jones to face King. Lefty pitcher against righty hitter. First pitch fastball down low, ball 1. Jones can be prone to some wildness from time to time. Line drive into right field. That'll fall in for a base hit. This is going to tie the ball game up at 7-7, and around to third is Eric Calder. So a big two-out single for Nate King, and we're tied up again at 7-7 now. Nate King with his 13th run batted in of the year. So now Blake Dale, the left fielder, coming up to face Brooks Jones. Medicine Hat led 1-0 and 2-0 after an inning and a half. Barry scored 5. First pitch hit on the ground. Houston up with it. The throw on to first in time. And Medicine Hat is finally out of the inning. But for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, in the top of the 7th inning, they scored 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no Barry's errors and 2 runners left on base. Heading to the 7th inning stretch here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, we're tied at 7. Medicine Hat and Saskatoon as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Back to being tied up at 7-7. As I was starting to say, last half inning, Medicine Hat with runs in each of the first 2 innings. Barry's with 5 in the bottom of the 2nd, and have not trailed since then. But Medicine Hat have now tied it up twice since then. Scored a single run in the 4th, 2 in the 6th to make it 5-5. Barry scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th to retake the lead. And then Medicine Hat with 2 in the top of the 7th. So we're tied up at 7-7 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Davin Hinault back out on the mound for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. He's going to face DH Aiden Kilshaw, first baseman Nick Cote, and catcher Aiden Marion for the Berries. Kilshaw 0 for 3. First pitch at the knees for a strike. Both bullpens quiet now. Cued foul by Kilshaw, and he's behind 2 strikes. Just 17 years old, Aiden Kilshaw. Two-strike pitch, down and in from Hinault. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, 2 is way up high. 2-2. Hinault's 2-2, and Kilshaw holds up. They'll appeal at third base, and Scott Mostaway, the third base umpire, says no swing. That's a full count. Killshaw started to go and was able to hold up. Really nowhere near a swing there. So full count now for Davin Hinault after being up 0-2 on Killshaw. 3-2 pitch is called strike 3 off the inside corner. Home plate umpire Matt Schul rings him up. Hinault's first strikeout of this appearance. One away in the bottom of the 7th inning. And it's Nick Cote, who is 2 for 3 tonight. Singled, scored, drove in a run in the 2nd inning, flew out to center in the 3rd, and singled in the 5th inning. Berries have 11 hits tonight. First pitch strike thrown in there by Davin Hinault. Outside 1-1. The Berries may have 11 hits, but they're all singles. They had 7 singles last night. They have yet to have a extra base hit against Medicine Hat through the first game and, well, 7/9, if you will. This is inning 7 out of a potential 9. Right now with the game tied, the possibility of extra innings comes into play. That's down low from Hinault, 2-1. Line drive up the middle, base hit. 3 for 4 for Nick Cote tonight. Go ahead run back on base. Up comes Aiden Marion, who's 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Saskatoon product, graduate of St. Joseph High School. Coming off his freshman year at Hutchinson Community College. But he's going to spend his sophomore season at Sacramento State in California. Called strike on him to start off the plate appearance from Davin Hinault. Nash Nichols is on deck. That's high, 1-1. Nate King tried desperately to bring that down and frame it for the home plate umpire, who wasn't biting. That movement has to be a lot more subtle than that. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 1-2. You want to see good subtle movement of framing a pitch and being able to bring it. Watch Alejandro Kirk with the Toronto Blue Jays. My goodness. How many pitches he gets that aren't on the mark that get called strikes because of just that subtle glove movement. Couple of inches, maybe. Fouled off by Marion. Stays alive at 1-2. I don't think many people have left. 1,989 the attendance here tonight. Tuesday evening, nice night. Game approaching 3 hours in length. Again, a lot of it's due to the long at-bats, multiple pitches. Marion holds up, called low, 2-2. Right now, this game is in the hands of the pitchers that are out there. Nobody in the bullpens warming up. Davin Hinault is pitching right now for Medicine Hat. Bottom of the 7th, Brooke Jones finished off the top of the 7th for the Berries. That's down low. Full count now to Aiden Marion. Nash Nichols on deck, and then the top of the order for the Berries. Aiden Marion just turned 19 about a month ago. 3-2 pitch lined into right field, coming on and making the catch. Now the throw to first, trying to double off Cote, who was able to get back, but a good play in right field by Evan Morrison to come on and make a catch on the line drive out. Makes it 2 away. And up comes Nash Nichols. Nichols is 1 for 2. Has scored twice. Actually, sorry, he's 2 for 3 is Nash Nichols. Singled and scored in the second inning. Grounded out to short in the third and singled and scored last inning. Stole a base as well. First pitch to Nichols is a called strike. That stolen base for Nichols last inning was his 14th of the summertime. Low and away with a breaking pitch, 1-1. Nick Cote at first. 2 away in the bottom of the 7th in a tie game. Nichols tried to hold up his swing and the ball caught a piece of the check swing. Goes foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's his 1-2 to Nichols. Going to be called strike 3, and that's going to be the end of the inning. For the Berries in the bottom of the 7th inning, no runs, 1 hit. There were no Medicine Hat errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 7, it is 7-7. Saskatoon and Medicine Hat as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Top of the 8th inning coming up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field in a 7-7 tie. Saskatoon Berries, Medicine Hat Mavericks. Mavericks will send up their number 9 hitter, center fielder Jalen King. And then back to the top of the order for the 5th time tonight. Plate appearance for Carter Roth, the second baseman, and right fielder Evan Morrison, guaranteed to hit in this inning. King is 1 for 3 tonight. Doubled and scored in the second inning. Facing Brooks Jones, lefty. Called strike at the knees on the inside corner. Jalen King didn't like that. There's a little bit of a delayed call from home plate umpire Matt Schul, and King went for a little walk and now strides back into the right-hand batter's box. 1 strike pitch is in for strike 2, a fastball. Jones quickly ahead, 2 strikes. The Berries lefty kicks and delivers on 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was the slider from Brooks Jones. Stayed up, but unable to catch up to it was Jalen King. 1 away. And that's the 7th strikeout by Berries pitching tonight. So it's side order of Saskatoon Berry pancakes from a local restaurant establishment for anybody who can scan the QR code in the Jumbotron in right field. First pitch outside to Carter Roth, ball 1. Roth, the All-Star, plays second base for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. 0 for 3 tonight. Walked and scored back in the first inning. He walked when it was 7 o'clock. It's 9:57 right now. Fouled off. 1-1 the count. As we quickly approach the 3-hour mark of our ball game tonight. Swing and a miss. Good fastball there from Brooks Jones. Goes ahead 1-2 on Carter Roth. Came into the game hitting .348. Chopped into the ground. Jones to the right of the mound. Fields throws on to first, almost high and away, but Nick Cody reels it in for the second out. 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. And up comes Evan Morrison, who led off the 7th inning with a double and came around to score on a pass ball and a wild pitch. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Left-handed hitting product of Medicine Hat, Morrison. Facing lefty pitching Brooks Jones, and looks at a first pitch strike. Evan Morrison coming off his junior year at Hastings College. That stays inside, almost hit him, but manages to turn away. Ball 1, 1-1. One pitch from Jones to Morrison. They called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's low, ball 2, 2-2. Morrison had played in 66 games the last 2 seasons total with Medicine Hat. Swing and a foul tip, strike 3. Of 1-2-3, top of the 8th inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Brooks Jones. No runs, no hits, no berries, errors, nobody left on base. After 7.5. Still tied up at 7 here between Saskatoon and Medicine Hat as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. We have a new pitcher in the ball game for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. He wears number 13. That's Jax Graham. Jax Graham is a 6'2", 210-pound right-hander from Pictou County, Nova Scotia, coming off his freshman year at Arkansas State University Mid-South. Jax Graham has 2 wins, no losses, a 4.13 earned run average coming into tonight. Been busy. He's started a game somewhere along the line. This is his 16th appearance of the season. Jax Graham has pitched 24 innings, allowed 25 hits, 12 runs, 11 earned, struck out 17 and walked 7 He has a previous appearance against the Berries. It was here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field back on June the 9th. 2/3 of an inning he allowed a hit. Only threw 5 pitches that night. He last appeared in a game back on Friday in Moose Jaw. Pitched 2 innings. Facing the top of the Berries order here in the bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be Mason Rell. Breaking ball down low and away, ball 1. Rell 2 for 4 with a couple of runs scored, I should say. A stolen base in the mix as well. That is inside 2-0. Left fielder Ethan Murdoch, right fielder Giles Salinas. Due up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jack Graham pitch popped up by Rell over towards the third base bleachers, and it is over the bleachers and out of play, 2-1. Rell expressing his frustration. He thought he had himself a pitch to drive and fouled it off instead of getting it out in fair territory and onto grass or maybe even over the fence. Putting one out might be tough tonight. This is a tough ballpark to get out of at the best of times. 335 down the lines, 400 straight away. Rell fouls that off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To the gaps in the right and left center field, I say it's anywhere between 370 and 380. So you got to hit it a good distance, and with the east wind blowing from the right field fence in towards the third base foul line or the left field foul line, you pretty much have to hit it down the line to get it out of here. That's going to be called strike 3 on Mason Rell, and 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and bring up Ethan Murdoch, who's 1 for 4. An infield single in the 4th inning. He also has a run batted in back in the 2nd inning on a ground out. Ethan's struggling a little bit at the plate right now. That one is outside, ball 1. 21 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit. I mentioned that east breeze at 13 kilometers per hour, or 8 miles per hour about. That's at the knees, inside corner, 1-1. Game in the hands of the bullpens. Starters are long gone and out of it. Down low to Murdoch, 2-1. Davin Hanote with 2 pretty decent innings pitched for Medicine Hat. Did give up a couple of runs. That is on the outside corner, 2-2. Hanote gave up 4 hits in his 2 innings of work. 2-2 pitch. Chopped into the ground, taken it short by Johnny Volcano, and the throw across is in time. 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Berries, and up comes Giles Salinas, the right fielder. Fans will start clapping away here, hoping to spur Guile on to something big. Salinas is 0 for 3, been hit by a pitch in his 4th plate appearance. There's a hot shot into the hole, backhanded in the hole. Volcano with the long throw, and in time. What a play defensively by Johnny Volcano at shortstop, diving to his right, backhanding the ball, getting up and firing a strike to Frankie Giacalone, the first baseman, just before Salinas arrived at the bag. 3 up, 3 down for the Berries in the bottom of the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no Medicine Hat errors, no runners left on base. Still tied at 7-7 after 8 innings complete as you're watching Barrie's baseball on FloCollege. Tied up at 7-7. Saskatoon Berries and Medicine Hat Mavericks. Mavericks send up their 3-4-5 hitters against Brooks Jones. It'll be third baseman Nick Hill, first baseman Frankie Giacalone, and shortstop Johnny Vulcano. Usually somebody makes a great defensive play like Vulcano just did. He's usually leading off the next inning, but he'll be third up this inning. First it'll be Nick Hill, who's 0 for 4 tonight. Right-handed hitter facing a lefty, though, for the first time, and it's Brooks Jones. Swing and a miss at a fastball, strike one. Jones with an inning and a third behind him. Couple of strikeouts and a walk. Has given up one hit so far. A slider swung on and missed. 2 strikes. The count on Nick Hill. Here in the top of the 9th inning. Chopped high in the air. Fielded by Jones behind the mound, and the throw to first in time. One away. What does our home plate view show us? Or maybe our third base shot. Maybe we see that moon way off in the distance again tonight. Orangey full moon out there. It's kind of the light is kind of bright out there down the right field line, so you really can't see the dot that is out there, but it's a magnificent sight in foul territory and well out into the sky, into the night sky here. Giacalone hammers this one high in the air, straightaway center field. Nash Nichols, though, has plenty of room as Giacalone hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark. If he hits that down the line, it's out of here, but it's a long fly ball, second out here in the top of the 9th inning. I thought you meant that. So now Johnny Vulcano has singled his last 2 times up and scored runs in both the 6th and 7th innings. 2 for 4 for Vulcano. Veteran of this team. First pitch slider is down low, ball 1. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning. Vulcano falls off the 1-0 pitch. 1-1 the count. Berries will have the middle third of their order come up. Second baseman Josh Henson, shortstop Nathan Houston, and DH Aiden Kilshaw. Scheduled to face, I assume Jax Graham will come back out for the 9th inning for Medicine Hat. Johnny Vulcano with a line drive, left center field. Nichols is chasing it down. He's there. He makes the catch. And that's a 1-2-3, top of the 9th inning for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. No runs, no hits, no Berries errors, nobody left on base. We're heading to the bottom of the 9th. Tied up at 7 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. All right, bottom of the 9th inning coming up. Tied at 7. Barry's in a walk-it-off situation if they can do so here. Otherwise, we're going to extras. 3 hours and 13 minutes into this ball game. Josh Henson will lead it off, the Barry's second baseman. He's 2 for 4. Couple of singles for him. Couple of runs batted in, actually 3 RBI for Henson. Big, strong infielder who's played first, third, and second tonight. And his first pitch swinging, one hopper right to the second baseman, Carter Roth, who throws him out. And that's one away. Facing Jax Graham. We'll bring up Nathan Houston, the shortstop, who's 1 for 3, extended his hitting streak to 9 games with his first plate appearance, a single in the second inning, and scored a run. Hit by a pitch, also in the second inning, but he is 1 for 3 on the night. Check swing, and they'll call strike. Jax Graham. That one's up high from him, 1-1. Aiden Kilshaw, the DH, on deck. One pitch. Check swing. They'll appeal down to first. No swing. Pitch down low, 2-1 to Houston. From Melville, Saskatchewan. Graduated from Martin Collegiate in Regina. Swing and a miss. Looked like a change up, 2-2. Two count on Nathan Houston. Jax Graham's pitch is going to be called strike 3. Second strikeout in the appearance for Graham, who has yet to allow a base runner. He's retired all 5 batters he's faced, and now it's Aiden Kilshaw, who's 0 for 4 tonight, the DH. Left-handed hitter Kilshaw against Graham. First pitch swinging, fouls it off, and that's into the party patio area. Down the left field line, third base side, 1 strike. That's inside, 1-1. Nate King, the catcher, trying to steal the call on the inside corner. Didn't do so. 1-1 on Kilshaw. Graham's pitch hit up the first base line, but foul. 1-2. Nick Cody, the first baseman, is on deck. He's had a good night, 3 for 4 in the ball game. Hopes to get up here in the bottom of the 9th with Kilshaw on base. Graham's 1-2 pitch upcoming to Kilshaw. Popped up down the third baseline. Nick Hill stumbling into foul territory, but will hang in there, stay with it, make the catch, and it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no Medicine Hat errors, nobody left on base. So we're heading to extra innings. Tied up at 7-7 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. You're watching Barry's Baseball on FloCollege.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca.
So we head to the top of the 10th inning. The Saskatoon Berries going to extra innings for the 6th time this season. They're 4-1 in games that go beyond 9 innings of play. Brooks Jones is back out on the mound for the Berries. Unofficially has thrown 28 pitches. The courtesy runner for Medicine Hat out at second base will be Johnny Volcano. And Jones will face left-handed hitting Eric Calder, the DH. Then catcher Nate King and left fielder Blake Dale here in the top of the 10th inning, tied up at 7. Let's see what Ryan Reed, the head coach of the Medicine Hat Mavericks, opts to do. Third baseman Rell is in on the grass. First baseman Cody is on the edge of the grass at first. See if Calder executes a sacrifice to get the runner on second over to third. Brooks Jones' first pitch to Calder, down low, ball 1. Calder did not show bunt on that first pitch. I'd be surprised if he did, quite frankly. Good average hitter. Left-hander, gets this ball into play on the right-hand side. It's as good as a sacrifice. Breaking ball outside, 2-0. Calder's 2 for 3 with a walk. He walked against Jones. He was the first batter that Jones faced back in the 7th inning. We're into the top of the 10th now. Two-0 pitch up coming to Eric Calder. Fastball in for a strike, 2-1. Moose Jaw wins tonight in Swift Current 8-2. Currently a game and a half up on the Berries. That's a fastball down and in, 3-1. Berries need to win this in order to stay a game back. A loss puts them 2 games behind. This is the last game still on the go in the WCBL tonight. Sylvan Lake blasting Lethbridge 15-4 after earlier walloping Brooks 16-2. Regina with a couple of wins over Energy City tonight, or today, 2-1 and 6-2. In Red Deer, those games were played. 3-1 pitch is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Calder threw the bat away thinking he had drawn ball 4, but now it's a full count. So those are the out-of-town scores for today. And as mentioned, this is the last game still on the go in the WCBL. Full count pitch up coming to Eric Calder, leading off the top of the 10th inning for Medicine Hat. The courtesy runner Johnny Volcano is on second base. Jones with a long look at him. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Third strikeout for Jones in this appearance. 1 away in the top of the 10th. And now Nate King, catcher, singled against Jones and brought in the tying run back in the 7th inning. We haven't had any scoring since then. King is 1 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. Jones's first pitch is a called strike. Blake Dale, the left fielder, is on deck for the Mavericks. The bullpens, they are quiet, as you might expect. Jax Graham is a perfect 2 innings on the mound for Medicine Hat so far. King fouls this off. That's in amongst the spectators down the right field line. And Jones ahead of King now, 2 strikes. Time called back in by home plate umpire Matt Schul. Jones with the 2-strike delivery. King fouls that off again. That's into the first base bleachers. Nate King, a Canadian from Lindsay, Ontario. That ball gets away from Marion to the backstop, and advancing to third is Johnny Volcano, as that is ball 1 to Nate King. So now the go-ahead run is 90 feet away from home plate, and the Berries bring the infield in. One, two, the count. Down low, King held off on the swing. 2-2 the count. Josh Henson, the second baseman, has been positioned right up the middle and actually shaded over to the third base side of second base. Now, if you did that in Major League Baseball, you couldn't do that. You're not allowed to do that in the majors anymore. Overload to the one side. 2-2, fouled off again by Nate King. Count holds at 2-2. Tense moments here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 10th inning. 1 away, runner on third. And a good battle here between Brooks Jones and Nate King. King pops it up. Nick Cote back onto the edge of the grass and can't come up with it. Coming in to score is Johnny Volcano, and they go ahead 8-7, as that'll be an error on Nick Cote on what would have been the second out, and likely would have been able to have kept the runner at third. But there is another unearned run allowed by the Saskatoon Berries, as Nate King is on first. That's 6 errors now in the game for the Berries. And 4 unearned runs scored by Medicine Hat. They now lead 8-7. Blake Dale at the plate. Hits one right back to Jones. The throw to second, and that gets by Houston into center field. Another error. Moving his way to third base on the play is Nate King. And now there's first and third for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, as that'll be a 2-base throwing error on the pitcher, Brooks Jones, on what would have been a potential inning-ending double play. And here comes Joe Carnahan out to get him, and I believe Clay Mixon is going to come on and come in to pitch. The Berries throwing the ball around. 7 errors. Joe Carnahan is out to chat with his team. He's going to leave Brooks Jones in there. He says, let's make a play, boys. Let's get out of this. There's still only 1 out, though. And runners on first and third here in the top of the 10th inning with Jalen King, the center fielder, coming up, and he struck out back in the 8th inning against Brooks Jones. First pitch is fouled off, back to the screen, strike one. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 10th inning, it'll be the bottom third of the Barries order. Nick Cote, the first baseman, Aiden Marion, the catcher, Nash Nichols, the center fielder, with Aiden Kilshaw starting off at second base as the courtesy runner. But the Barries got to get out of this without giving up much more if they can. Jalen King showed bunt, takes a ball, 1-1. That'd be the next thing to have happen, would be a squeeze play. Bring in a second run. Brooks Jones shakes off a sign from Aiden Marion. Shows bunt and bunts it to the screen. 1-2. That looked to be like a safety squeeze, as Nate King at third was not coming all the way home with the pitch. He was only about a third of the way down with his secondary lead, waiting to see if the ball was bunted down to the ground. 1-2 now, the count on Jalen King. Fouled off towards the Medicine Hat third base dugout. Count holds at 1-2. King 1 for 4 tonight. Doubled and scored in the second inning. Mixon continues to warm up down the right field line for the Barries. Brooks Jones trying to get out of this. Limit the damage. 1-2 pitch. Hit back up the middle. Second baseman Henson to second for one. To first. Not in time, and a second run scores. Nate King in from third base. A fielder's choice. Jalen King with good speed down the line beats out the relay throw. 2 away, and it's now 9-7, as that's an RBI for Jalen King, his second of the season. Runner on first with 2 away, and Carter Roth, the second baseman, who's been held off of the hit parade so far tonight for Medicine Hat. First pitch swinging, fouls it towards the Barries' first base dugout, and there was a lot of ducking going on there. 1 strike. (9-7) Medicine Hat with the lead. Jones pitch gets away from Marion to the backstop, and on to second base is Jalen King on the wild pitch. 1-1 the count. This is Roth's 6th plate appearance of the night. He walked and scored in the first inning. Reached on an error in the second, but has come up empty, and this is an all-star, the All-Star Game MVP from back a couple of Sundays ago, who's very capable. Now has a runner in scoring position. 1-1, fouled off over top of the backstop screen. And out of play. And the count 1-2 on Carter Roth. Hit towards short. Houston up with it. The throw on to first. In time. Roth hustling down the line, but the throw beats him. However, Medicine Hat scores twice in the top of the 10th inning. Without the benefit of a hit, there were 2 Barries errors, 1 runner left on base. After 9.5, it is Medicine Hat 9, Saskatoon 7. You're watching Barries baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the 10th inning. Barry's down 2, 9-7. Unofficially, Medicine Hat 9 runs on 7 hits. They've committed 1 error. They've left 8 runners on base. Barry 7 runs on 12 hits. They've committed 7 errors, and they've left 8 runners on base. Aiden Kilshaw will start the inning as the courtesy runner on second base for Saskatoon. It'll be Nick Cody, who's 3 for 4 tonight, to face Jax Graham, who has retired all 6 batters he's faced since coming on in the 8th inning. 2 of them by strikeout. Graham looking to improve his record to 3-0 if he can get 3 outs here in the 10th inning. Pick 2 County Nova Scotia product. 6'2", 210-pounder. Cody on the ground. Taken by Volcano at short. The throw on to first in time. Kilshaw had to return to the bag. 1 pitch, 1 out. Now it's catcher Aiden Marion, who's 1 for 4 with a run scored back in the 2nd inning. Nash Nichols, the center fielder, on deck for Saskatoon. Graham's first pitch is a called strike. Low and way, ball 1, 1-1 with a breaking ball. The 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1. Barries would love to get another man on base, get the tying run on base if they can, and get the top of the order back up. Breaking ball is in for a strike, 2-2. But they need one of Aiden Marion or Nash Nichols or both, preferably, to get on base. 2-2 the count on Aiden Marion. Kilshaw at second. Jax Graham's pitch low and away. We have a full count. There have been a lot of those tonight. Public address announcer Simon Hyatt trying to get the crowd charged up, trying to get them to help out the Berries offensively here. 3-2. Going to be a called strike 3. Marion was heading to first, thought he had drawn a walk. Not so from home plate umpire Matt Schul. 2 away, and now it's Nash Nichols, who's 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored tonight. 12 singles for the Berries. May not end up being enough tonight. They need to get a 13th hit and maybe a 14th hit. Mason Rell is on deck. Called strike on Nash Nichols, who struck out his last time up in the 7th inning. Low and away with a breaking ball, 1-1. Check swing. They'll check over at first, and it's not only have to because it's a called strike from home plate umpire Matt Schul. So the Berries are now down to their last strike at 1-2 here with 2 away in the bottom of the 10th inning. Trailing 9-7. Mason Rell is on deck. 1-2 pitch is outside, 2-2. That one was close. Kilshaw at second. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. Nichols pops it up. This is going to be out of play into the first base bleachers. Count holds at 2-2. Everybody gets back into position, ready to go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuce is wild on the top line of the scoreboard in right center field at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. There's a swing and a miss, a foul tip caught by the catcher, and that's the ball game. And the Medicine Hat Mavericks have defeated the Saskatoon Berries 2 nights in a row. 9-7 the final tonight in 10 innings. For the Berries, no runs, no hits, no Medicine Hat errors, 1 runner left on base in the bottom of the 10th inning. Your final tonight, Medicine Hat 9, Saskatoon 7 in 10 innings. We'll have the wrap-up coming up momentarily as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Okay, back to wrap things up from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, where the Medicine Hat Mavericks have prevailed in 10 innings, 9-7 over the Saskatoon Berries this evening. It's back-to-back wins for the Mavericks here over the Berries. On the road, big victories for Medicine Hat as they try and catch a playoff spot. And the Berries are losing some ground to Moose Jaw in the battle for first place in the East Division. Your final line score unofficially for Medicine Hat, 9 runs on 7 hits. They committed 1 error. They left 8 runners on base. The Berries scored 7 runs on 12 hits. They committed 7 errors. That was their downfall tonight. 9 runners left on base. The winning pitcher, Jax Graham, with 3 perfect innings of relief. He improves to 3-0. And Brooks Jones takes the loss in relief for the Berries. His record is now at 2-1. 1,989 fans on hand to see it. A game that took 3 hours and 39 minutes to play here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. So the Medicine Hat Mavericks with the win improved to 21-28. They've won 3 in a row now. 12-10 on the road, and they're now 2-5 head-to-head against the Berries with 1 more game to go tomorrow night here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Berries dropped to 33-15. They've lost 3 straight, 17-8 on home field here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. They're 4-2 now in extra inning games this year. Again, 9-7 in 10 innings for the Medicine Hat Mavericks over the Saskatoon Berries tonight. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 7 o'clock on FloCollege with the Berries and the Medicine Hat Mavericks. So until then, on behalf of all the gang at Flo Sports, FloCollege, all the folks here with the Saskatoon Entertainment Group, my wife Verna, the producer of our broadcasts here on FloCollege, I'm Les Lazaruk. Have a great rest, what's left of it, of your Tuesday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night. Again, starting at 7 o'clock, Saskatoon Berries, Medicine Hat Mavericks, here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. You've been watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.